Barcelona has just come out of the darkest period in the club's history, and now we can finally say that era is over. Not long ago, the team was on the brink of financial collapse with their future hanging by a thread. Today, all that remains of those troubled times are memories, and Barca fans finally have plenty of reasons to smile again.
The transformation the club has gone through in recent years is one of the most remarkable comebacks football has ever seen. When there seemed to be no hope, the team found its lifeline in La Masia. Young talents promoted to the first squad didn't just meet expectations, they blew past them, becoming some of the best players in the world at an age when most would only be starting their journey. What once seemed like an impossible dream of a golden future is now reality.
There was a time when Barcelona threw record-breaking sums at transfers, only to see those signings flop on the pitch and sink the club further into financial chaos. But now, things have shifted. Instead of struggling for survival, Barca stands at the doorstep of a new era. The mission isn't about rebuilding anymore, it's about winning it all.
And the best part? They don't even need to spend astronomical amounts to compete with the Premier League giants who throw money at every problem. What Barca has can't be bought: a unique identity, a collective spirit, and a journey from crisis to resurgence.
With the Champions League back, so is top-level club football. And in this video, we'll take a closer look at Barcelona's chances of finally lifting the trophy they've been chasing since 2015. We'll also dive into the key challenges the team faces and what might stand in their way. Also, a quick favor. If you enjoy this kind of content, dropping a like really helps push the video out there. I know it sounds cliche, but the algorithm works that way, so thank you in advance.
Now, back to Barca. After their draw against Rayo Vallecano, Hansi Flick made some eye-opening comments. He said, "Last season, we played as a team. Right now, that's missing, and success is killing it." Strong words from the man who has been one of the main architects of Barcelona's recent revival. And he might have a point. Before we get into the arguments for why Barcelona can win trophies this season, let's first take a look at the problems Flick and his squad need to address.
Fans on social media, especially on X, have noticed the same thing. Barca no longer walks onto the pitch with the confidence they had last season. Sure, the win against Valencia was fantastic, but in most other games, the rhythm hasn't been there. Flick is right. Last season, Barca played like a well-oiled machine, imposing themselves from the very first minute. Now, the team looks hesitant, losing control too often.
But the biggest issue? The defense. Barcelona's backline has become predictable. They push up extremely high, almost to midfield, banking on the offside trap. But Spanish sides have figured it out. Against Rayo, all it took was patience and smart runs to completely dismantle Barca's defensive line. And, compared to Real Madrid, who last year had major defensive problems, the tables have turned. Madrid now looks solid and disciplined, while Barca seemed lost without a backup plan.
What stands out most is the lack of a true leader at the back. Íñigo Martínez, who used to bring organization and calm, has been missing, and so has that sense of security. Without him, the defensive unit looks shaky and exposed.
It might sound strange, but it's the truth. Barcelona's defensive issues are hard to ignore right now. One thing that's clear is that last season, the team worked well together, pressing as a unit. That collective effort made them a force to reckon with. But now you can see certain players are starting to focus more on themselves than the team. There's a lack of that collective energy that propelled Barcelona to success just a few months ago.
However, it's still early in the season, and it's a good thing these problems are surfacing now. This gives Hansi Flick plenty of time to address them, find solutions, and motivate the team to perform better. It's better to make these corrections now while there's time to get back to peak form before the crucial matches of the season where the pressure will be at its highest.
Right now, there's no doubt that Barcelona has the most potential they've had in years. But in order to achieve their goals, they need true leaders. Especially in defense, Pau Cubarsí needs to step up. He has to try and fill the shoes of Íñigo Martínez and become one of the great defenders in Barcelona's history. This is no longer just about technical skill. Cubarsí needs to bring character and leadership to the team. It's not just about Cubarsí as a leader in defense, but about the entire squad. Barcelona needs to have character. They need heart, not egos. Hansi Flick can provide the best tactics and strategies, but without the right mindset, the discipline, energy, and enthusiasm, even the most talented players will look like a bunch of individuals instead of a team. We've seen this scenario play out in other top clubs in recent years, and we've seen it with Barcelona last season.
Despite having no right to reach the heights they did, given all the issues they had going into the season, including a morale hit after a disappointing few years and the departure of then-coach Xavi, the team still managed to bounce back. A lot of that success can be attributed to one key factor: they played as a team. They had a common goal and they all worked together to reach it. That's why they dominated Real Madrid, why they won La Liga, and why they almost made it to the Champions League final.
Now with the potential they've earned through hard work, the real test begins. And it's especially crucial for Lamine Yamal. This season could be a turning point for him. Not because of his talent, that's already obvious. But the real question is, will he stay grounded and put the team first, or will he fall into the trap of chasing individual stats?
I'm guessing this is what Hansi Flick meant when he spoke about the risk of individualism. While he didn't name Yamal specifically, the message is clear. If any player puts their personal performance ahead of the team's well-being, it'll hurt everyone and undermine the team's chances. So let's focus a bit more on Yamal.
I personally believe this will be a defining season for him, not because of his skills, but because of the mental aspect of his game. Will he stay humble, focused on the team, and avoid becoming consumed by personal accolades? This is one of the most common mistakes young talents make when they rise to the top so quickly. They get caught up in individual glory and lose sight of the bigger picture, their constant growth as a player.
Yamal is a football genius, no question, but we've seen young players with immense talent falter because they became more focused on their individual shine than their team's success. This is exactly what Robert Lewandowski has mentioned about Yamal before. As he grows older, Yamal will need to take a more professional approach to his career, not just in terms of his playing ability, but also in his mental game. Lewandowski, now 37 and still at the top of his game, knows exactly what it takes to play at the highest level for as long as he has. If anyone can offer advice on how to handle such a fast rise, it's him.
Considering all of this, I believe this season will be decisive for Lamine Yamal. And not necessarily in the context of his entire career, because changes can always happen, but it's clear that Barcelona will benefit much more from him if Yamal adjusts his mindset. It's not a controversial statement to say that his ego could become a problem.
This has been discussed for some time, and it's not a new topic. Given Barcelona's squad potential, Yamal needs to approach his role responsibly and step up as a leader. Luckily, we can already see that Hansi Flick is well aware of this and will definitely address any tactical or behavioral issues with Yamal. FC Barcelona is facing a tough season ahead. Their biggest rival, Real Madrid, has certainly learned from the previous season and will not want to allow Barcelona to dominate them in El Clasico, La Liga, or the Cup competition like they did last year. But if Barcelona was able to beat Madrid so decisively, that's a sign of their strength, and they can repeat that success, win La Liga again, and even aim for the Champions League. But for that to happen, it will take a lot of hard work and correcting the issues we've talked about. If everything aligns, this goal is absolutely achievable, and it will be especially important for Robert Lewandowski, as this will likely be his last season at Barcelona.
This is a significant development. Lewandowski, who has been Barcelona's star since the summer of 2022, joined from Bayern Munich, where he was at the top of his game, in order to help rebuild the club. But it seems that after this season, he will most likely say goodbye to Barcelona. According to reports, the club has decided not to extend his contract, and it will expire on June 30th, 2026, just before Lewandowski hopefully heads to the World Cup.
Now, Barcelona has to answer a big question. Who will lead the attack and take on the responsibility Lewandowski leaves behind? Keep in mind that even when Lewandowski went through rough patches, when he wasn't scoring or was injured, he was still an invaluable leader in the locker room, sharing his vast experience.
Lewandowski, in my opinion, has already become a legend of FC Barcelona. In 149 matches, he scored over 100 goals and provided 20 assists. He helped Barcelona win 2 La Liga titles and a Copa del Rey. He also won the La Liga Top Scorer award once.
But now, the club must look to the future and find his successor.
To wrap it all up, it's clear that Barcelona has plenty of opportunities, but also risks ahead. However, if everything goes according to plan and the team shows the same enthusiasm as last season, Flick's squad could achieve something historic, especially when we compare the current situation to just a few years ago.
Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. I'm looking forward to your feedback in the comments as we covered a lot of interesting topics today. If you're new here, I strongly encourage you to subscribe to the Football 90 channel. And if you want to help me reach more viewers, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like for the algorithm. Thank you in advance, and I'll see you soon in the next video.